Hello, hello.
Long time no see.
Oh, it's been a
Um,
bit.
I think you got a haircut since the last time we've done this.
Potentially. Yeah, trying new things. Eh, it's okay.
Sweet. Okay, so for this live here, in the past, we've always had discussions about certain topics and whatever the case may be is, or maybe we had like a platform of what we are going to talk about. Right
Mm,
now, I want to try something new. It's going to be called Agree to Disagree. So
okay.
pretty much what it is we both have uh, a list of ideas, I should say, and
Yeah.
we're both going to talk about each other's ideas. Now, I picked five from your list. I think you picked five from my list,
Yep.
and we're both going to go through with it. And basically, like I think I've talked about this before, is that I would love to have like a debate because there's nothing more entertaining than watching two guys argue because I feel like that draws an audience in because
Yep.
it's just so predictable if someone's like, yeah, I agree all the time. It's like, okay, well, this is kind of annoying. But when you got
Mhm.
one guy making his points, like, hey, I got this to back it up. Another guy's like, hold on, I want to defend that, and this is my point. I think
Yep.
that would be cool. And I don't want to start any
Yeah.
drama, and I don't need any like life threats or bombs set up anywhere.
Hmm.
I know you got some secret lab somewhere, buddy. Don't even try to mess around with me. I know.
Yeah, I got that. What was it? What's that cookbook? I can't remember what it's called.
Alrighty. Um, so let's get this rolling. So,
Mhm.
out of the list that you gave me, let's talk about. Now, this could be crazy, and I know what you're going to pick because I know what I'm going to pick. But nighttime versus daytime. What do you think? What do you which one's better?
Oh, I gotta say, nighttime. Nighttime's always better. I'm gonna expand on it because, e- except for right now, because it's fucking cold as all hell in Canada. Nighttime is just so much better because like lights, bright night neon, especially in nighttime, fantastic. A nice warm summer's evening when it's nice and dark, great for walking around having a good time. And it's just not hot as during the day. So it's like you get that bit of cold, but it could still be nice and warm. Except if it fucking snows. But I will still defend nighttime all the time. I don't know. I like it dark. That's me.
Now, I'm going to disagree with that, but everyone's going to think I'm being a hypocrite by saying this because that's what I do for work. Is I work overnight time. Hello
Yep.
from the UK. Hello from Canada.
Hello.
I got four people. Woohoo!
Fuck yeah. Popular.
Someone jot this down right now. Someone jot this down.
Fucking making
Um,
history.
Carly Janet, same. Okay, so my argument is I much prefer the daytime. Think about it,
Yeah.
like especially, and every time of the year is going to have their different. You're Scottish, congratulations.
No fucking.
Uh, hey, what's up, losers? Slim Baby.
What?
Slim Baby.
Wait. What?
Hey, what's up, losers? Peace. Is this one of those
No,
glass?
no, I'm not. But thanks for asking. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I got more feminine like qualities, so fuck. I guess. Oh,
That's
man.
it, man. Go get a mask. Get a mask. Get a mask. That's it. We gotta
Maybe I
stop before
should.
we even start, man.
I mean, maybe I should just go with it. Maybe
All right.
yes.
Okay, so your argument was nighttime's better. My argument is daytime's better. Now it's going to depend, obviously, throughout the year.
Hmm.
Like in the springtime, summertime, there's nothing better than getting like that, like the smell of the grass and stuff like that. I don't know. It's to me, it's really refreshing, and obviously you get the
Yeah.
sun peeking out, and it's beautiful because in the summertime you have all. It's pretty much like daytime throughout the entire day, and then you have like a couple hours overnight where there's the moon, and then come back. So the summertime, you obviously have
Yeah.
way more sun than you do in the
Oh
wintertime
yeah.
because in the wintertime, which we're in right now, there's complete darkness. Like you might
Oh hell
have
yeah.
about this much light. So the wintertime is obviously unfortunate if you're a fan of the daytime, like me.
Hmm.
But again, that's just me. No offense, bro, but you're stealing all the air out of that nose. I know, right?
Wow, some of these people. Can I put the phone out?
I don't know who this Slim Baby is, man. Like I have no clue who that is.
I no clue. But all right. Glad they're part of the conversation.
I guess so. This is interesting. So
Yeah.
yeah, daytime's way better. Nighttime, even though I work it, who cares? That's what that is. Okay, so now it's your go.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm just gonna say I agree to disagree at the same time because yes,
Thank
grass
you.
is great. So I will admit I can't get it. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna ask you: do you believe in Bigfoot and Sasquatch? Yes or no?
Bigfoot or Sasquatch?
Yeah. Do you believe that they're real? Yes or no?
No. No,
No.
that man, there's just so many conspiracy theories, and like there's other things you could talk about, but like, why is it that you can like there's so many like cameras in space, and they can detect certain people and all this other stuff, like to save millions of dollars. Of technology and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
you're telling me that they can't get a good enough footage of this Sasquatch or Bigfoot? It's just conspiracies, man. That's just all it is. I'm going to stick with that. Just conspiracies.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree because honestly, there's got to be some like explanation for like all of it. Like even if it's like it's Sasquatch, like it's just it could be a big hairy man that existed. They just called
Yeah.
it Sasquatch. Like it's got to be out there. But at the same time, there's so much weirder stuff than Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Like what else have we found out there? Loch Ness monsters, that's real. Like we got fucking what was it? I can't even remember half the thing. I only know Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Like how can you deny the evidence? Like people have had pictures, people have had this, there's that. It's like the people that believe that like the moon landing is fake. We have pictures of the moon. Like
Yeah, but man, like there's like you can fake stuff too. Like that's
true.
like tell me there's a Sasquatch. Okay, then why is it that we're in the 21st century, 2024 to be specific, when there's phones everywhere, there's cameras everywhere, there's satellites as many as you can think of in the sky floating around, and they're zooming in on certain specific things. You're telling me out of all of that they can't get a clear, good footage of a Bigfoot or a thing? It's always, oh, there's a footprint. But you're telling me someone didn't just carve a footprint and be like, oh my God, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, they're right here. Here's proof. Here's that. It's like, I don't know.
No, see, why would somebody go through all that effort just to lie? You know, I mean, come on, like people won't do that much to lie. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Of course they would, but at the same time, there's so many places they could hide too. It's like international law, privacy, this, that, places where connections are bad, caves. You never know where this thing could go. It could cover itself in mud, predator style, and you couldn't see shit. Like this thing could be smarter than we ever know. Like maybe it's an evolved creature, maybe it's an alien. I'm just saying, like Sasquatch could be fucking anything. But I believe, okay? I believe in the
All
squad.
right. Well, again, we're going to just agree to disagree. There's no way either one of us are going to convince the other that our theories on the other parts are true. So, again, well, that's just it. That we'll take that. Okay, so
Yeah.
that'll be my turn to pick. Scared. You split ocean or space. Which one would you be more scared of?
Ooh, honestly, I myself am gonna go with space. I love water a little too much, and I really want to explore water because I think it's so fucking cool. But space, that you're floating into fucking nothing for a million miles, and then you might crash into something. You can't breathe. I know you can't breathe underwater either, but like it's like your lungs are filling with something. There's something there, but like in space, it just is nothing. You just feel like nothing. You like it's I don't know. It's the weirdest thing to me. And then also like we don't know what's out there. Even worse, like what if there is something out there? What if a comet hits you? What if like you end up in the sun? What if you end up on a planet that is inhabitable and all of a sudden, whoop, you're stuck? Do you like just live out your days like alone, just exploring? Like that's terrifying.
Well, I mean, space, obviously, the big thing against us humans and anyone that needs oxygen is that there's nothing there. So I could see the argument why someone would be a little terrified if you go to space and obviously shit hits the shan. But you're telling, okay, with that being said, okay, The ocean for me. There's no question about it. I mean, if you get underwater and you cannot breathe and you cannot swim to the surface, you know your time's coming to an end. You're telling me that's not going to be scary? Your heart's going to be racing, you're going to be pumping, and you're going to be just full of adrenaline, but knowing that you cannot get to that specific spot. At least in space, if you have an oxygen mask, you can float around for like a couple of hours. You don't got a couple hours underwater. I'm telling you, you got maybe a couple of minutes if you're lucky.
What if you scuba diving, man? Come on, like you can have a tank for like a little bit.
What happens if your oxygen goes low or something? Then you're screwed.
Yeah. Still, no. At least you got like cuddly fish around, you know. At least you got like a dolphin that can come save you.
Yeah. FYI, life ain't a Disney movie, my friend. There's no happily ever after. It's just misery ever after.
Yeah, go. We're gonna find Ariel. She'll come save us. Yay!
Only if that crab is coming. Sebastian or whatever the hell his name is.
Oh yeah, freaking! If a lobster starts singing when you're underwater, that might be scary, or you might actually have me there.
Cool. Well, I think that settles that debate. So the ocean, that was what I asked for you, and you picked that. So okay, I guess it's your turn.
Okay, now here's the big one. In terms of why space might be scarier, is that it could have ended up here. And what about Area 51, huh? Huh? What do you think's
What's
there? Do you
there?
think it's like a real alien thing, or is it just some fucking military thing?
No, man, this is the facts. I got this guy. His name's Crackhead Chad. He knows everything, man. Like he knows everything, and he's got the inside scoop. Area 51.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. It's just a mind game to make people think that there is something there. There's nothing. Hi, bro. How are you? I'm good. How are you? There's nothing there. It's just all a conspiracy. Think about all the different things. You could say aliens or whatever it is that you want to think of, but you're telling me that if there was artificial intelligence out there smarter than the human race, which by the way doesn't take that much, that they get captured by someone who has less intelligence than they do, and then you're telling me they can't escape? There's been so many movies of people getting locked up, humans getting locked up, and then like obviously you have your magicians like Harry Houdini who escaped from tanks and stuff like that. So you're telling me that if there's an alien or some type of living being inside of there, they wouldn't have either tried to find their own way to escape, or if they are hooked up and they're like technologies all around them, why couldn't they like space or send a message up to their little buddies?
Bullshit. Nah, it's real. Nah, see, none of that. No, everything about no, it's real. Cause like, how easy is it to trick people? Think about it. How easy is it to make people think that like what's going on? Like, the government's got us locked. They got pigeons that are just fucking cameras watching us. Like, it's just they got things hiding everywhere. So like, we're all just being like Matrix simulation. They got things hidden in there that you wouldn't believe. And you think, why would they want to escape? We're just their playthings, the aliens. They're just having fun. What if we're their test subjects, huh? What if all this new fancy tech coming out of Area 51 is alien stuff, and that's why we're, advancing so good? See, it's real. Area 51 is just like, what is it? Like the mind behind like everything in civilization right now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna throw this back at you. Then we talked about Bigfoot and Sasquatch, but how no one could ever get a visual on them properly. It's always out of focus. If there's aliens, and you're telling me that there's always stuff's getting linked and leaked on the internet because people can hack into accounts and they can spread stuff around, you're telling me there isn't like a visual of an alien inside somewhere? Obviously, it would have to be caged up, because if it was just allowed to roam free, it would probably just kill all the humans there. Let's be honest. But you're telling me that no one's been able to get a picture, security camera, because you'd have to keep an eye on if there is an alien, because if they escaped, you wouldn't know what the hell to do. Mythological creatures.
Who's the third?
I don't know.
Is this dude seeing through people?
Just a bunch of trolls, man.
Oh wait, he's here. He's included. That's why 3. No, but no, I disagree. Like, there's many ways to hide stuff. There's so many ways to hide things from the people, and, like, even if they did get photos out, like, I'm pretty sure there has been photos out, but people just don't believe they're real. They think it's Photoshop. They think it's, whatever. "Oh, that was just a guy in a costume." Nope, that was Paul the alien. No, he's out there. He's doing things. He's hiding. He's invisible when he holds his breath. That was a real movie. I have seen it.
Alrighty. Well, again, it's just one of those things, but we're just expressing our opinions. There's no facts behind anything, unless
Yep.
you really think there's facts behind it. But either way, again, something else that we'll agree to disagree on. Okay,
Mhm.
so you took that one, so now I'll take this one. Uh, uh, power, strength, or sorry, what is that? Skill?
Skill,
Power,
yes.
strength, or skill? What would you take if you had the choice?
Oh, if I had the choice, honestly, I am more about skill. I think to me, it's kind of like the whole Batman, Superman type thing. Like, one's all about strength, one's can do pretty much everything, all this power, all this whatever. But you take a guy with a skill and a bunch of knowledge, you could take out anything. Plus, like, you could be really strong, really powerful at things, but like, it's skill. It's knowing how to like move and how to do things. That's where true power lies. Okay, so as a small guy compared to a big strong dude like you, I gotta work around you. I gotta be dodging and weaving. I can't be outpowering you. So yeah, I'll take skill any day.
See, skill is a very essential thing to have, especially if you're trying to whatever the case is that you need to do. But
Yep.
I'm going with strength. I mean, if you're strong enough and you can move things and push things, whatever the case may be, is I think that'd be a better asset to have because what
Mm.
happens if you get somewhere and you need something really heavy out of the way or something heavy lifted? Yes, you might be able to like think tactically how you can do it, but if it's just a matter of just picking something up and chucking it to the side, I mean, even Einstein would know that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, okay, I can partially agree with that. Like, yes, strength can get you to the ways faster, and like it has its way. But I don't know, something about skill that just, it's a certain finesse to it. It's kinda like showing off a bit, okay? So, yeah, I like to show off a bit. That was weird, I
So,
don't know what that was. Yeah, see, look at that, boom. Clear footage. Yep, see? Somebody's seen it.
clear footage.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Internet people don't lie, I'm telling you. Nobody ever lies on the internet.
Finally, a nice comment for once. That was a nice little
Yeah,
change.
what a nice person.
Getting roasted on a
Right?
Friday night. So I think that was my question to you.
Oh, yep.
So what do you got next?
Oh, I gotta throw it out. Okay, we're going to the big one.
All right.
Do you believe in an afterlife? Yes or no?
No.
No?
I don't think so. But
No?
again, everyone's going to have different beliefs, and this is probably going to be the most
Yep.
controversial thing that I'll be talking about. If anyone happens to tune in, I'll probably get kicked off YouTube just for saying this. Like, oh my God, are you kidding me? You have an
The
Antichrist on YouTube?
Bible says.
But I don't know, man. I mean, it's one of those things that you hear so many stories about, but you have no proof until you're unfortunately dead. So it's not
Mhm.
like you can have like a preview of what's possibly going to come, and yeah, and like once your life comes to an end, it's really hard to tell. I think it's probably just eternal darkness. Like just imagine closing your eyes, you can't
Mhm.
see anything, you can't talk, you can't hear. There's just nothing. It's just darkness, and it's just like that forever. And it's unfortunate, and it sounds so dreadful and dreary when you think about it, because no one ever likes to think
Mhm.
about stuff like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just everyone has their different beliefs. Everybody believes in different things, different gods, whatever the case may be is. So everyone has their own. It's whatever you were brought up on, whatever you believe in.
Mhm.
Now, I'm gonna probably sound like a hypocrite. There's no way I can say that, but like I grew up as like a Catholic. Like I was,
Yeah.
that's whatever it was, right? But I don't know. I just you hear so much about it, but what can you really believe? It's just you're
Mhm.
guessing, you're thinking this is what's going to happen, and if you do a lot of bad things, then you're going to like spend your whole life, afterlife, like just tortured and stuff like that. And or if you
Mhm.
go to up there, you're up there with the people that were great, but there's got to be a gray line of like what happens if someone does one bad thing and then that ends up affecting their whole eternal life afterwards, or soul, whatever it is. I think that's crazy because if you can, I'll put it this way, and then I'll give you the floor. But
Mhm.
like, if you can do something wrong and like maybe you go to jail, you serve your time, you've done your sentence, and now you're free to go and do whatever. But
Yeah.
like, that's an eternal thing. You know what I mean? So like, if that one bad thing you did, even though you got away at some point, or you resurrected yourself, whatever it was,
Mhm.
just because you did that one bad thing, maybe that's one of those bad things you weren't supposed to do. And then it's just like, oh, sorry, buddy. Just because you repented as a human doesn't
Mhm.
mean that, you're going to be rewarded in the afterlife, because that's
Yeah.
one thing you were not supposed to do. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Again, I
Yep.
could have all of these things that I say could be completely wrong, completely whatever it is, but that's just the way I think. Anyway, so I'm done with my 5-minute rant. I apologize. So I'll give you the floor now, and these lips are sealed.
Oh, fair enough. No, honestly, you made some very great points. I will agree. A lot of people have different ideas of what it could be, what happens after death, da da da. Some people don't believe in anything. But I gotta say, I believe in something. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily like a good, bad, heaven, hell, whatever. There's been so many different interpretations. You got, purgatory ish type stuff where it's like a mixture of both. Like, you never know. Different religions have their own, like, even hell. Like, hell could be the underworld. So it's like the three things are just exist there. So it's, or Valhalla for like the Norse. Could be anything. I think it's more about kind of there being something or somewhere for your soul, your essence to go. Like you mentioned, eternal darkness, and it's like I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that. I think there's something that is kind of worth all this life for, even if it's you know life. Like life could be great, but I think there is something after. I strongly believe that. So I have to agree to disagree.
Sounds good. I'm just reading that thing. It says I hold the record in my hometown of Granby, Colorado, for most mashed potatoes eaten in one sitting, 7 pounds. My cousin is in third place with 5.6 pounds, Ronnie Gerblack. So is that like a comment from that person, or is that a reference to something? Because the name that wrote it's not the same name in there, unless they're telling that's the third person. I can't tell. Either way, 7 pounds of potatoes. That's very
That's a
impressive.
lot. That's a lot of fucking potatoes. Holy shit. God damn. All right.
uh,
All right.
no kidding. Okay, so that was you asked me that question, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm having a hard time keeping the track. So I'm
Oh,
just
that's
gonna
all
go
good.
over the ones that. So I already did the nighttime one. I
Hmm.
did the power strength. That's
Yeah.
two. I did one, two. I must have done three.
Yeah, we're on three each because we did.
Reference the conversation. Oh, sorry, the reference to the conversation earlier. Sorry.
Hmm.
Um, what did I ask you?
You asked me about
Oh, the
the.
ocean. The
Yeah.
ocean. Yeah, okay, so that's three. This is question four. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so my fourth question for you is going to be um, live action or anime?
Oh, I have to admit, I'm gonna go with animation. I
Okay.
know a lot of people like a lot of live action nowadays, and even I love a good live action movie. I like to see a lot of things in live action, but I don't know. For me, animation has always been a more creative outlet. Like you said, like anime, animation, cartoon. Like I don't know. I've always thought it was really cool what you could do with it, even if like it wasn't real people. It just gave you that creative space to just kind of really let the director's imagination flow. So I personally just I know people like my parents, I can say, they don't like animation stuff. I'm like, why? It's so beautiful. It's like art, but it's just a constant art thing that people have drawn. So it's like that's me. I gotta say, animation takes the cake in a lot of different ways. Disney, Pixar, woo woo.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a good anime, and I mean it is good, but as always, I can't agree. There's nothing better than live action, and to be honest with you, when you think about some of the movies or shows that have happened, and then they've made remakes, yes, some of them have been bust. There's been a lot of
Hmm.
good from cartoon to live action that have been absolutely terrific, and I'm sure
Hmm.
if you're a fan of say. Like it could be a fan of, like, it doesn't matter if it's DC or Marvel because they always have CGI in all of them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think about the cartoons that they had, say for like a Batman or say for like an Iron Man or whatever the case may be, was they had cartoons and then they made them into live action. And think about how many live action, say, superhero movies have done well at the box office, and some of them have even gone on to win awards. So it's pretty crazy of how they take from basically a cartoon drawing and put it to real life and have people act as those characters. Again, there have been a few busts that I'm not going to sit here and name all of them because there probably are a few that Green Lantern. What, who said that?
What? We don't talk about that one.
Man, I think the funniest thing in like that Deadpool, the first one, he's just like, "Please don't make this costume CGI or something like that."
Yup.
I was like, yes.
Yeah,
That was pretty funny. But yeah, anytime it comes to live action, I'm 100% down with that. I'll give the argument that yes, there are some good anime shows. Like I remember I grew up on watching like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. So I only got to Z. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the other ones because it felt like, I don't know, it wasn't the same. I guess if that makes any sense, because they are fairly newer, probably like different voice actors, different stories, whatever it is. So I couldn't tell you what the newest episodes are about because I have no clue. But the crazy thing was when I was watching it as a kid, that would have been in like the late '90s. I was thinking this is new, and then when I was talking with Fred, he was talking about how he used to watch that in college, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize the age difference between the two of us.
Oh yeah.
He looks so young. Anyway, and then I looked it up, and it was like, yeah, like the Dragon Ball was from like the late '80s, and then like the Dragon Ball Z was from like the early '90s.
Oh, okay.
So I was just like, so like what I was watching, I thought was live, but it actually wasn't. So I'll give like that show. There might be a couple other ones that I may watch, but I'm more into live action. That's just me. So that was my fourth question. So now it's your go.
Hey, that's all good. I will say this, like live action definitely dominates the field, but can't beat a good cartoon. Saturday Night Action. Yep, right. But now comes the question. If we're gonna talk about cartoons and live action, we gotta talk about the big comic people. DC or Marvel, which one's better?
DC for me, all day. You really can't go wrong with it. I mean, everybody, especially on the other side, everybody either has a superpower or they have something to help them. But for me, DC feels more kind of like realistic. Now, I could say that and sound completely ridiculous. People are like, what are you talking about? You're taking a dump right now. That's great. This is a great way. This will help your bowel movement so much faster. Just listening to us talk, boom, you'll be done and you're out of that washroom in like 30 seconds.
You'll want to get right out. Yep.
But yeah, no, DC for me all day. And like obviously there's so many different characters. Pooper P. Your bowel, your poops. It'll help it go better. Trust
exactly.
Me. No, for DC, it's me all day. And again, I could argue because everybody has a superpower, has something, whatever it is. But I mean, like obviously, when you come to think of it, like Batman is probably the guy who is closest that you could relate to because he doesn't have any powers. He can't like blast stuff. He can't do anything, whatever the case may be. He's just relying on gadgets. He obviously has some skill when it comes to like martial arts and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into the whole origin because we could be here for hours. But for me, it feels more relatable. That's kind of cool. The other ones, again, I'd be arguing against, I guess. But because obviously Superman can blast stuff out of his eyes and he's got strong stuff, so like he has basically mutation. Pretty much everybody in like DC and Marvel has mutation except for Batman. So I'll just go with him as the reason why I would follow DC.
Okay, well, I mean, I can't say that I have like I can't say that one is better than the other, but like definitely it's Marvel. I mean, I'll just flip this real quick. Can you not see the vast richness of characters that exist within this universe that are fantastic? No, like Marvel has always been fantastic. Spider-Man alone tops Batman in certain regards. I will give you the skill aspect of Batman because Batman's a beast. But I don't know, Spider-Man is like just a character, just like as someone to like role model. Because like I'd say that Marvel has more role models. Like Batman, yes, it's like, but he's a a man that is very angry, and he's also, if you don't know, a very bad parent at times. Like with his son, he's like stabbed him a bunch of times, got him hurt. Like that's not good parenting. Don't talk about Marvel people; they could be bad parents too, but we forget about that because like it's so wholesome and great, and it's a lot happier and awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Marvel is just, I would say, better with role models of like, yeah, people they can kind of connect with that maybe have certain strengths but aren't too above the realm of like possibility, give or take, because there are talking trees. But like, I don't know. I'll go back to Spider Man every day because like you would talk about Batman, nah, Spider Man is so relatable. Like he is the hero. So Marvel,
Marvel
love you
all the
see
way.
them.
Marvel all the way. Okay, so
Yeah.
the last one I got for you is when it comes to sports, contact and non-contact. Which one would you prefer?
Oh, honestly, I gotta go with certain. I don't know, non-contact sports. I gotta go with. I've watched more of those, and like I know people will be like, yeah, they like their big ones, like their hockey and football and da 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 da. But like, good game of basketball I played growing up. Basketball you can't beat. One of the biggest sports in the world right now. You think hockey's better than the NBA right now? Nah. Sorry, Canada. Just kidding. But I don't know, certain non-contact stuff, like, most of the Olympics, non-contact sports. Like 90% of the Olympics, non-contact sports. Then you throw in, like, what? Fencing, fighting, like, some things in there, boxing, I think is in there. Yeah, no, most of it's, like, lifting, doing, like, I think darts? Is darts a part of the Olympics? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Right? No, I
If
was
it
like, it
was a
wasn't
part of the
darts.
Olympics, man, I'd be trying out every 4
Right? I
years.
was like, if you think about it, that'd be freaking great because like, they have the skeet shooting, they have all that, but, like, yeah, so many non-contact sports that are fantastic, so I'm gonna go with non-contact.
Okay, well, I hear your piece, but again, the whole purpose of this is for us to not see face to face breakdancing. There you go. There's another non-contact
There you
sport.
go, see?
Figure skating. Don't forget that. As long as they don't fall and slice out the nitty veins, they're fine.
Well, the guy also made a point about the basketball thing, it's like, you're not supposed to it's like with soccer, like, you can slide tackle, but you're not supposed to because it's a foul, so it's like, penalized.
It's not as like unlike hockey, you can just have fights. That's part of the game. Whereas any other
Yeah,
sport, if you have a fight, you're out of there. They don't put up
exactly.
with fighting with anything else other than hockey because that's the nature of the game. So
Mhm.
that's probably why you don't see as many fights or breakouts. Yeah, you're going to have the few here and there. I'll never forget. This is kind of going with my. Obviously a fan of contact sports. This is going to go for
Yeah.
that point. Is that I remember watching a game. This was back, and I'm going to sound old as hell. I was watching it 20 years ago. It was between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers, and I'll never forget that. It was 2004, heading into 2005 season,
Okay.
and it was called the Malice at the Palace. And what happened was like the two teams they didn't get along, and then late in the game, I think his name was Ron Artest, and he changed his name to like I can't remember what it was. It was Meta World Peace or something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
basically changed his name to Meta World Peace. But it was
Oh,
so funny because like he always got in fights when he was younger, and he got
I see.
ejected and kicked it out. But I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh my god, because what happened was the players got into a fight, and then the fans ended up getting involved, but
Oof.
no one knew why it started. There's
Yeah.
actually a documentary on Netflix, and what happened was there was a Detroit Pistons fan because it was in Detroit, and he
Mhm.
threw a beer bottle at Ron Artest because Ron Artest he was trying to cool down. Like, they had him on the side and they were trying to calm him down, and you could just see he was just laying there. And then all of a sudden, a beer bottle falls right on top of him, and he
Oh.
snaps. And the worst part was, I didn't know this, but I guess he was taking therapy at the time, and because he was talking about that in the documentary. And he said
Yeah.
that what he was doing was he was just trying to like breathe, focus on breathing, just to calm himself down. And then when he got hit, it just all went to hell.
Yup.
And you can see he jumped in there. And the worst part was the guy that our test hit wasn't the guy who instigated it. It was the fan
Oh.
beside him. So
Oh, no.
you imagine starting a riot and then the guy next to you gets decked. And then it's just like,
Oh.
oh no, because like I don't. What they had to do was they had to get security cameras, and it took them a long time, and they had to try to like get different angles. But like 20 years ago, they didn't have as many cameras as they do now compared to any other year. But yeah, that was nuts. I thought it was the craziest thing. And then
Yeah.
and because they don't put up with violence in the NBA, a lot of the players ended up getting suspended. One guy, I think the Artest guy, I think he got suspended for the whole season just because he had a history of getting into fights and scraps, and he got suspended before. So that's what happens when you hear about like a repeat offender, is that they're going to probably do it again. And it happens
Yeah.
in hockey all the time because, I mean, players always do something stupid that gets suspended, and then they're probably going to hit again because that's just the nature of their
Yep.
beast. But that's going to put a damper on my support for the contact sport because it's just like, oh man, you just talked about a horrible incident that happened 20 years ago. But no, for me, I love it, and obviously hockey, I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan
Yep.
from hockey since day one. I can probably remember watching hockey as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I sound old saying that. I remember saying, "I'll never sound old. I'll never sound old, buddy." I'm like, yeah, I'm not young.
It's a part of growing up. Yep. No matter what, you sound old to young people.
But I remember watching fights, and there was two fights that stand out to me in the '90s. And like I was always a Montreal fan, but I rooted
Okay.
for Colorado because the goalie that played for Montreal got traded there. So I was rooting for him to win a cup. Yeah, he actually won two cups there, so I was pretty
Oh,
happy about that. But
nice.
the 2 years, there was a huge brawl where all the players on the ice fought, and even the goalies. And the goalie that I cheered for got into a fight that year, and then they played again the following year in the playoffs. Same thing, one hit, and then everybody went after each other. Like
Oh.
those two teams hated each other, and that's what made the '90s so great. Was there was just so many rivals like that. Now you're just still like for here, we're gonna have like your Battle of Alberta, and like there's
Yeah.
obviously gonna be some chippiness and stuff like that. But man, like if you ever had a chance to watch like highlights of like fights and hits from the '90s, and the thing is they didn't get suspended for a lot of those things. It took a
Okay. Yep.
lot, yeah. They took a lot to get suspended. There was one guy I'll never forget. He had his stick, and I don't know if he got hit, but he ended up hitting with his using the stick to hit another guy in the head. His helmet flies off. His head smashes up against the ice. He he was the first player to get kicked out of the league forever.
Oh,
Like he couldn't even come back.
jeez.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
wow.
because
That's
he got
crazy.
hit. He didn't like the hit. Either the referees missed it or they weren't paying attention. And then the next thing you know, he gets up, he just grabs the stick and he just bashes the guy right on
Oh,
the side of the head. And yeah, he was out before his head even hit the ice. So
oh
it
man,
was
that's
nuts.
bad.
But yeah,
Yep, that would have
there's,
done it.
there's yeah, but there's like obviously that's the downfall of contact sports is there's risk of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like hockey, you can't go wrong with it because there's always hitting, there's always fighting, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't care how many Karens are out there in the world that say that they shouldn't have kids, hitting at young ages. Well, that's how they develop if they want to be a hockey player. And then there's certain ones that want to get hitting and fighting out of the game. You'll never get rid of that hitting and fighting because what's going to happen, I'll tell you right now, if they for some reason say, okay, there's no more hitting, there's no more fighting allowed, what's going to happen is one person is going to hit somebody, and then that's just going to start chaos right there. Because when
Yep.
you ban something, that means people are going to want to do it even more. And I'm sure maybe if you've gone to see a game or watched a game, you know there's a lot of guys that take cheap shots at certain players. And I mean, it's legal now, and people are doing it. So if you make that illegal, you don't know that's just going to get worse. And how many times I wish I could count on my hands how many times I've seen people recording fans fighting at the games. And like, if you take fighting out of the arena or out of the rink, you're gonna have fights even
Oh,
more in the
right.
stands.
Yep. Oh
So
man, the fans will be
I'll never.
more angry than the players.
No,
Oh man.
exactly. So I'll never ever support anyone saying that they got to take hitting and fighting out of hockey. It's never going to happen. It hasn't happened for 100 years. I don't care how many people get petitions to sign stuff. The head of the hockey will just rip the petition right up and be like, you know what? Go bleep yourselves.
I like it. Okay. Well, I have to say that was a pretty great speech because yeah, fuck, that was just some great examples because yeah, contact definitely for the highlights of the fucking fighting, but you still can't beat a good long jump, you know? I'm just fucking with you. No, that
you,
sounds
you got
awesome. Like,
you
that's
gotta
insane.
Cool. Well, this was honestly, this is probably the funnest live I've done in a long time because, like I said, anytime I've ever done this before, whether it was with you or anybody else, it was always like kind of like, okay, we're doing this, 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 this.
Yep.
I remember I did bring this idea up to you before, but how I wanted to do this, and obviously, and it didn't work out at the time. But I'm really glad you had the time tonight
Oh,
to
yeah.
take to do
No
this, man.
straight.
This was a lot of fun, and I'm sure somewhere down the road I'll be asking you to wipe back to front today. Good for you.
Good job, Grandma
Yeah,
Steve.
way to go, Grandma Steve.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, sorry, Grandma Steve, but I'm actually heading out of here. It's too bad you weren't here 40 minutes ago. You would have enjoyed this way much more.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you were too busy wiping then and there, then that's
It
okay.
took him that long.
But yeah, I really appreciate this, man, and hopefully you enjoy the night and try to enjoy the weekend as well.
Oh, hell yeah. It was great, you know, and enjoying the company of you and our fellow viewers and having some great conversations. It'll be fun to hop on again sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Sounds
have a
good,
great
buddy.
weekend.
You as well, and we'll talk to you soon.
Perfect.
I also have my junk on a toilet paper roll and smacked a like a tube of biscuits. All right,
Jesus.
I'm ending this before this gets even worse.